It's Lily Mills. I have a learning disability and I was stuck in traffic yesterday in an hour and a half. And I missed my tennis.
Thank you very much, darling. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
We will scrap all these ridiculous low traffic neighbourhood schemes all over London, and we will get rid of the unjust, divisive ULEZ extension scheme that will impoverish the least well off the most. We've had enough. It's time for change. It's time for Fox and Tice. Thank you.
And it's so lovely to see people gathering together and protesting this illiberal, people choosing what is and isn't a necessary journey. That's not the country we live in. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. Keep making those films.
Emergency legislation has been misled, consultations have been denied, and equality impact assessments have been overridden.
Yes. I happen to live on a sacrificial road. I think some of you might know those terms. I don't live in an LTN. I live on the road that gets all the traffic, all the congestion, and all the pollution.
Because for me, it's what you can say it's one issue, but it's every issue. Because it typifies the arrogance and the contempt that our politicians, national and local actually, have for us, and the way they've treated us over the last few months. I think it shows they're not only out of touch, but they're out of control, really.
It outrages me that they think they can run roughshod over every one of us, making decisions for us, doing little to really engage us or consult us. I think that has been an outrage for not just this year, but for 10, 20 years.
I asked one of the councillors at the Islington Council a couple of years ago about my problem about parking, and he said to me, well, use public transport. And I said, well, I can't because I've got 6 dogs. And then he said to me, well, move to a different borough like I did. I got absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely.
We've got patients potentially dying, but until we come out of this COVID crisis, we won't have the inquiry, and the inquiry will actually show that the delays are potentially causing deaths of our relatives, deaths of our friends, and that's what I'm going to say.
Thank you. Thank you, my love.
I can't send my son into school on hospital appointment days because we'd never get there. So he's missing time off school, and my kids are, you know, they can't walk far enough. They certainly can't cycle. They need their car, and I need to be able to get them everywhere. Not the particular places that you're picking.
What the mayor is in charge of is the TfL roads. So what I can promise you is that anything that is on a TfL road, that is a blockage, that is a road narrowing space, I will work to get rid of those blockages from day one.
I've chaired a residents association down there for 29 years, and I can categorically say that everybody I talk to within the Bunhill area and myself were not consulted regarding the Old Street remodelling. The Old Street remodelling is an absolute disaster. From the Angel all the way down to Highbury Corner, southbound is absolutely stationary 5 days a week, and even over weekends.
Now, it is down to the local councils to sit there and use their initiative. You elect these people to use their brains. You use them to provide direction for you, the people. They've taken that canvas, they've taken the paintwork, and it's a pretty ugly picture they've painted.
And everyone is having the same problems. And this is why we're here today united, because we all agree on one thing, that Sadiq Khan needs to go.
As the Labour Party moves so far from caring about people, and as some people in Hackney know, we should published my resignation letter. I wrote a resignation letter and told them exactly why I resigned, and I was asked by HHRC members to stand for the council, and I have been writing to the council, to the ward councillors, to everybody saying we're dying. No traffic, no.
Thank you very much.
Well, when Grant Shapps, the Transport Minister, gave the funding to the local authorities, why didn't he stipulate how that money had to be spent? Why did he give them the autonomy to be able to do what they want to do? It's no good the Tory party turning around and saying this now. It's too late. The funding has been given and the damage is being done. So that's for me, and thanks very much everybody, cheers.
Looking at it from another angle, some of you might know, I was a police officer in this borough for 10 years, until 2011. Some of the officers here might not admit it, or their senior officers might not admit it, like the LAS and LFB. However, road closures causes delays.
I know, I've done work for a number of the food banks. You guys, some of you may know about it, the Arca Food Bank, not very far from here. Now, when I was sitting there and doing deliveries for them, before the LTNs were brought in, I'd be hopping between vulnerable homes, people, young families with young kids who are too scared to go out, and I was taking food to them. I was driving around those homes, and between two of the stops, it would take me 2 minutes. After the introduction of the LTNs, it was taking me 25 minutes to go between homes. Forget about the fact that I was sitting in traffic, creating further emissions, but the food I was giving to young families was going cold in the back of my car.
Well, I think that this is a battle more than road closures. Road closures are outrageous, but to me this is a battle between them in there and us, the public, you people looking at me and listening and campaigning with me over the last few weeks, years and months, being annoyed, outraged by the gap between the bureaucrats, the technocrats in that building we're trying to get into, and what each and every one of us live and experience ourselves, that there's a huge disconnect.
So it's we who shouldn't trust them really, and now we know that we can't ignore them. And I think that's what we've done over the past few years, is just let them get on with it, but we can't do that anymore.
Yes! We have a tale of two Londons that is divided by social injustice, and that is a disgrace.
The solution is not by putting another politician there, because I tell you something, the Conservatives, all they're going to do is suspend, and that's the word that they've used, but they're not going to get rid of it. We need an independent mayor that actually represents us, the people, that stands for the people and listens to the people, and not a political agenda.
I have to be able to go to every road to escape I have to escape the Essex Road. Essex Road is a nightmare. It's taking me twice as long to get my son home from school now because of the Essex Road. And now they've closed off that little tiny road now. We have to go all the way around the houses just to get to where I live. So I need them to open it up for everyone, obviously, but especially for disabled people who, through no fault of their own,